Hey, Webmug World Entertainment, and the DCU is up and running now, and they've just had an earnings call and stuff like that. Same as Disney, actually, where they're kind of spinning that, oh, Superman's this fantastic success for them and stuff like that, to the investors. The investors really should actually start looking at numbers and understanding how things work, because they always just seem to believe what the studios tell them. But in this call, there did seem to be an update regarding the Batman Part 2, more specifically, when it's actually going to film. This comes on top of news that Part 2 has already entered pre-production, and this gives a different date, which is sooner than the date Zaslav has given, but either way, there is confirmation, official confirmation, that the Batman Part 2 is a go. So it doesn't look like there's rewrites happening for this script or anything like that. There might be a couple of touch-ups here and there between now and filming, but there's no kind of, we didn't like that script, rework it or anything like that. So that's good news. So let's dive into this. So it's saying, the Batman director Matt Reeves recently revealed that he had finally finished the script for his long-awaited sequel, which he penned alongside co-writer Mattson Tomlin. The announcement came in the midst of concern that the movie, which does appear to be officially titled The Batman Part 2 for the time being, may have been cancelled or been hit with another significant delay, with speculation continuing to mount that DC Studios co-heads James Gunn and Peter Safran might be planning to either introduce a brand new take on the Dark Knight in Brave and the Bold, or fold Robert Pattinson's Batverse take on the iconic hero into the DCU. Now, with that, we know what's going on there. We know that James Gunn has said constantly, we are not bringing Robert Pattinson into our universe. We are going with a different actor. So I don't know why there's still speculation with that one. But it says anyway, Gunn remains adamant that the plan is still to forge ahead with another actor for the DCU's Caped Crusader, but we are clearly going to see at least one more installment in Reeves' epic crime saga as well. And we now have an update on the sequel's progress. By the way, it's interesting just there that they're saying at least one more, because don't forget, he was given a 3-movie deal. So everything was indicating that he was getting his Batman trilogy, and that still very well might be the case. Because if he has a contract, I don't think they can really just pull that on him without having to pay him. So it's saying anyway, according to productionlist.com, the Batman Part 2 has entered the pre-production phase and has begun the hiring process for production design, art direction, stunt coordination, costume, visual effects, etc. According to the site, principal photography is confirmed to begin January 1st, 2026 at Warner Brothers Studios Leavesdale in London, UK. Gunn only recently got a chance to read the script after being busy with the Superman press tour, but all he would say when asked about the story is, it's great. And of course we spoke about that response a while ago. So you're seeing there, they're saying January the 1st of next year is when it's officially going to begin production. That's not what Zaslav says, but Zaslav does give that it is next year. Saying this is where you kind of get this overpraise of Superman, even though they know they're not making money on it. So apparently they wrote a letter to the shareholders and stuff saying, celebrating the success of Superman. In the aforementioned letter, the company said, DC Studios' universe of characters represents not only one of Warner Brothers Discovery's most valuable pieces of intellectual property, but one of the most valuable assets in entertainment. In film, James Gunn is busy preparing the next installment of the DC Super family, including Supergirl 2026, Clayface 2026, and the next Wonder Woman. In addition, the Batman 2 2027 is preparing to begin shooting next spring, among several other projects in development. So that's the official word from Warner Brothers, is that the Batman Part 2 will film in the springtime, and yet this official production list thing indicates that it's beginning shooting on the 1st of January of 2026. So it's obviously filming next year. That is official. There's no if, buts, or ands about that. That's official. You know, that's Warner Brothers officially stating that, yes, this enters production next year for a 2027 release. I believe it's October of 2027 that comes out. So it's interesting that there does seem to be two kind of separate dates here. That one is the beginning of the year and the other is coming into springtime that they're going to start filming. So it's going to be interesting to see which one of these dates is the proper date that it's going to start. But either way, it's good news that the Batman Part 2 is officially entering production. So, and there's still speculation that Hush is going to be the big bad for the movie, and yet we've just had another story with James Gunn shooting that down, which doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is. So, there's your official update regarding the Batman Part 2, that it is set to film next year. It's just a question of, is it filming at the very start of next year, or is it filming a little later in the year, i.e. springtime, so probably March or April. We'll have to wait and see. But it is interesting that it is moving forward. I do find it interesting as well that they've put out this call sheet for the costume design and special effects and stunt coordinators now, because you would think they would, and they probably are, they probably just have to do this, but you would assume they would just use all the people and companies that they used with the first one. Like, why wouldn't you? It also, with this production start date confirming thing, it does seem to indicate that the movie, much like the first one, will also film in the UK. That makes sense, being that the areas around the UK, like Liverpool and Glasgow, where they were filming, parts of London, kind of the Gothic architecture very much was a part of the movie. You know, they made Gotham a character like it should be, so you would want to keep that look and style there. So it makes all the sense in the world that you would film this one in the UK as well. So that's good news as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this, and I wonder if we'll start actually getting some official word on exactly who the villain will be and stuff like this. From what I understand, I did hear a rumor, don't know whether it's true, or so, as with all rumors, take it with a massive grain of salt, but there was a suggestion that they've dropped the idea of using Barry Keoghan's Joker, that he's not going to be the main protagonist and stuff. He'll probably still show up in it, unfortunately, but there is talk that they've dropped that idea, that Warner Brothers was just like, no. Don't know, as I said, take that with a grain of salt, but either way, it should be filming fairly soon, so let's look forward to that. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I shall catch you in the next one.